This is episode 15. Came a long way. Man, I remember when we did the very first one, we didn't know how to act.
Yeah, episode 15. The title's called The Vision.
Vision. That's a big topic. I think everybody needs to hear that because I'm gonna start off full force, man. To take the steps of what do you want to complete, you have to start off with a vision. It goes step by step. You have to visualize what you want to do or visualize what you want to achieve. The best thing for me, what I like to do sometimes is I take it as I like to, when they say visualize, it doesn't even have to be visualization in your mind. It can be you writing it down. Uh, I don't know if you guys ever heard of a vision board, but they have a thing called a vision board where you just write down your ideas. You say, hey, in 5 months, I want to be a millionaire. In 2 months, I want to have $5,000. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to actually see it as visualization too. That helps a lot of people too as well.
Right.
So
And once you see it, how about write it down?
apply it. Yeah, that's a
Because
good thing.
you'll see it maybe in your vision, but then you write it down and then you'll see it twice. And then you could put that vision board next to your bed or something, even on your phone, that you look at every day so you have motivation. Whether that vision is, you're doing it for yourself, you're doing it for your family, you're doing it for a friend or whoever.
Exactly.
Or maybe it's your own vision and you're just doing it for yourself.
Exactly. And that comes, it comes a long way, depending how you want to do it. Like we were saying, a vision board, you could have the thoughts in your head. You can visualize in your mind. It's just so many ways you can go about it. But, people learn and people do things in a certain way in life. But I'm telling you, if you just take our advice as far as that, you'll achieve a lot of things. I mean, it doesn't happen overnight. We all know that. We're all human. We all make mistakes. But visualization is a key to success.
Exactly. And not everyone's going to believe in your vision. There's people going to laugh at you, be like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. But as long as you believe in that vision, if you believe in that vision, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit.
Yeah, because what's going to hurt just having a vision? If you visualize what you want to do in your future, or if you have a goal in mind, you want to achieve something, you can't just sit here and worry about, what others think too. You look at some ideas that millionaires and billionaires have, people could say, hey, this is the worst idea ever. But who's going to be by your side 10 years from now when what you thought was an awesome idea and everybody thought it was just failure? It was actually great achievement and visualization. So, I mean,
Yeah, you got to believe in that vision. Even when no one else believes it. Maybe it's just you. You got to believe it. Because if you don't believe it, no one's going to help you. If you don't believe it,
exactly.
you got to start with yourself first. And that's all you need.
Yeah, and some people, what's crazy is some people they can't just visualize; they have to see. When they say that quote is "seeing is believing," which is quite interesting. It's like people have to see a lot of things, but in the end of the day, just remember this: is you don't have to prove anything to anybody. As long as you're happy with yourself and you achieve your goals and visualization, I mean, your vision is, like I said, is just more than eyes. It's achievement. It's completion. I don't know if you guys know, but seven symbolizes the number of completion. So, that's another thing to throw at you.
Well, and like we said earlier, there's many types of visions. Number one that at least everyone that I know talks about is like, oh, everyone envisions a house. Oh, if well, my house has this 5 bedroom, 6 bedroom, or whatever. If I could design my own home, it would look like this. Well, that starts in your head. That's a vision that you had. Or maybe it's opening up a business, the vision.
Yep. Because what I have to say definitely about the vision, and you're right, you have good points on that one. And then once you visualize, you have to take the steps to achieve the visualization because you can't just visualize and just sit back and let it roll. I
Right.
mean, you have to take these steps after you visualize to keep going. Take the necessary steps that you need to. Once you have it, it's like building a house. What do? We set the foundation of the house,
Brick
and we
by
start
brick.
building from the ground all the way up. And that's actually visualization because what do? They bring out these blueprints of what they want the house to be like, what they want it to look like. It's a lot of things that they do. So it takes time, it takes visualization, it takes ideas. You have to just piece everything all together. You know,
That's the
visualize.
blueprint.
Yep,
People need the blueprint to their vision. Perfect example that you
exactly.
just said.
Yep. And then once you
Vision
have
board.
that, you can go far. And I mean, I just think some people, they need to actually take the time to visualize, their life of what they want. A lot of people, they really hold back and they don't really want to do certain things, maybe because people are scared of change, maybe because they're comfortable, maybe because, it's not, and a lot of people, they like to visualize stuff. They'll think about it. They'll say, hey, I'm going to do this. But then a lot of people like to talk about it, but they never try to even take that first step. It's all about the self sometimes. You don't have to be, I'm not saying be selfish, but in order for some people to succeed in life, you have to, as part of your vision, you have to take away the people that are negative in your life. Always have the people around you that are there for you since day one, all the way through, no matter what you're going through. And once you visualize something, you achieve it, that person or those people are going to be there for you, with you through your whole uh, roadmap.
Right. And if you can find those people or surround yourself with people, whether it's a business or whatever you got in vision, surround yourself with great people that will help you maybe make that vision a reality, or push yourself that will check up on you. Hey man, how's that plan or that idea that you had, that vision? How's that working? Are you taking the necessary steps to do that? Or are you
Yes,
just
that's
sitting
that's
back
the support
and I
system.
wish I
Yeah,
had that?
that's the support system. It's a great example of what Gadio just mentioned right now. That's a support system. That's what you call that, because you'll have some people that you'll tell their ideas and they'll just listen to it and be like, "Yeah, sounds good." But guess what? Some people are just actually waiting for you to fail, and they'll laugh behind your back. But those are your non-supporters. I mean, eventually everything comes out. So you'll know who your actual supporters of your vision is. And us as, individuals and humans in our mindset, some people get affected by that. But at the end of the day, it's about your vision and not others. So,
It's
I
funny,
mean,
Javon. A lot of people in everyday life, just whether working or whatever, having a conversation with someone, they always say, "You've heard this in your life at least once." You're like, "Well, I wish I was a millionaire." And you know what I'd say to that person who wishes they were a millionaire? Why can't you be? And who's stopping
exactly.
you?
What are you doing? Are you sitting around doing nothing? People talk about this and that, but when it comes down to doing stuff, you also have to take action because it's not going to come to you. You got to actually go get it. You know, you got to get what you want to achieve or what you think you
Exactly.
want to achieve. And then just because something doesn't work out in your vision, that doesn't mean that you just stop right there. You got to pick yourself up. You got to continue. You got to continue to, if you have a thousand visions and you only achieve five of those, one, even just one is just enough. You know, you can just keep going. And yeah, that's about it, man. So,
I'm gonna say this: someone listening to this right now, whether whatever you're doing in life, take this out of it. Before you go to bed tonight, or whenever you're hearing this podcast, write it down on a piece of paper and look at those that vision that you have, the steps that you need to take, and look at it and write it down. That way when you go to bed, you're like, oh man, you can really envision what you need to do. When you wake up in the morning, boom, look at that again and remind yourself what that vision is. That way you could take out of your day the necessary steps that you need to do. Whether it's work, once you finish work, work on yourself. If you got a
Exactly.
job
Because
out
that,
there, just work at the job, because then you're working for the man. You're working for somebody else. When you finish and you clock out of the job, that's when you need to work for yourself. Because if you won't do it, who will?
yeah, exactly. Because, at the end of the day, that's why I said a vision board really does help. Because without a vision board, like I said, it's really hard to just sit here. And then, as far as visioning, when you do visualization, you always got to remember that you got to, write it down. You have to plan it. Even if you have to, write it down step by step of what to do, what to achieve while you're going through your vision roadmap. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, exactly what I said. What do? We plan a trip. What do we do when we plan a trip? We sit here and we try to take the best route possible. Sometimes you have bumps in the road, but at the end of the day, we always have to remember that there's always plan A, B, C, D, all the way down to the end of the alphabet, if you want to call it. But you always got to be prepared for bumps in the road when you do your vision, because you can't always sit here and think everything is going to go 100%.
That's a great point, Javon. I mean, you can take one step forward and then move 3 steps back. But then
Exactly.
those 3 steps back, you got to move forward. And then you'll take 5 steps forward and be where you need to be to achieve that vision.
Yeah, because some people, they actually fold, man. They actually, right when they're right there at that finish line, they fold.
I think I've said this in a previous podcast, but Javon, let's see if you remember. And I think you'll know the answer to this. Do you know where the richest place, other than the banks, on Earth is?
You said the richest place?
Yep.
You know what? I'm trying to think of this.
I'll give
Nah,
you a
that's a
clue.
good question.
You're like 6 or 7 feet under.
Oh, wow. That's not what I think it is, right?
it's, it's the cemetery, Javon. You know why? Because that's where everyone's dreams and visions are buried that they don't make a reality.
Wow. That's very deep right there, man.
Literally 6 feet.
They say your spirit goes and your body stays, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, it does make sense what you just mentioned right now.
And
You
I know
put
that's
two,
kind of like weird to think about, but really sit down and think about what I just said. That's deep. Literally.
yeah, you're gonna open some eyes right there, man. That's not only just knowledge, that's wisdom right there.
Open up the eyes and know that the sky's the limit to their vision.
Yep.
That if you can make your vision into a reality, you don't have to think about that.
But you know what I noticed too? Another good point is people make life hard on themselves. Why are we making life hard on ourselves when we have choices, we have visions? Just take all these shots, and it doesn't even matter. Like I said, if you take 100 and one of them work out, who cares? Fulfill your visions. Because like I was saying earlier, a lot of people get very close to the finish line, man, and they just give up.
Yeah.
And they don't continue at all. They just give up. They're just like, all right, well, if it's not going to work, I don't know what to do.
And
What
for
am
the
I going to do?
people on social media, don't be discouraged, because what you're seeing on social media, if it's pictures, videos, vacation, you're seeing the finishing product of what everyone wants you to see. That they bought a new house, they got a new car, they got a new job. That's the finished product. You don't see the behind the scenes. You don't see the sweat. You don't see the struggle. Working 2 jobs, working 3 jobs, dealing with kids.
Exactly. A lot of people, a lot of famous people, like, millionaires, billionaires, these people cover their lives up so much. For example, the paparazzi, right? So when these people come out with these stories, the famous people, for example, they have so much stuff going on in their life. People, I don't know if you noticed, there's so much stuck into their life. You know what I'm saying? The paparazzi, the news media, they're so bored, and they're out to just dip in other people's life. That's what I mean. for example, you can't tell everybody your next move or what you're going to do
Exactly.
in your vision, because if you tell people, they're going to use it against you. They're going to hee ha ha in your face. But you'll know, like I said, the real ones.
Sometimes the only support system you need is you.
Yeah, that's it. That is it. And the man upstairs, if you believe in him, if not, believe in yourself.
And if you don't take the necessary steps to make your vision come true, whether it's today or tomorrow, you're just pushing your dream back another 3 months. So do yourself the favor and get going. Write it down on a piece of paper, envision it, pray about it. Do what you need to do to make that vision become a reality.
You also got to remember this. What legacy? I always say this all the time. I don't know if you remember this, Gadiel, but I mentioned to some people sometimes when they ask me, they're like, "Oh, I don't know what I want to do." I tell them, I said, "Hey, what legacy are you going to leave on this earth? Are you going to be remembered as this person did nothing with their life? Or are you going to leave your mark on this earth? It's either one way or the other way.
That's true.
You either leave a good mark on this earth and you accomplish everything you need to accomplish and live your best life, or you just waste your life and you just sit there and you just wait to just, when it's your time. It's like a time clock. It goes in and out. When your time is done, you're done. You can't take back this life. So it's about what you do now and what's your vision and your completion. And like I said, your roadmap.
Exactly.
So, it's up to you guys. It's, I feel like, we're going to keep going in all this, and we're going to just make sure we could just continue to start hitting some not even basic points, some points that would hit home, hit your heart, make you feel like, man, this is what I really, really needed to hear. Not what you want to hear, but what you really need to hear.
We're not going to sugarcoat things. We're going to tell you how it is. We're just everyday people living life, struggling just like you are.
Exactly. Because just because we're sitting here today and we're talking about different points and all this, you think we don't go through stuff? Come on now, we're human. Everybody goes through it. I'm not going to sit here in front and act like I don't go through stuff.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure, Gadiel has some things along the road. We're not perfect. We're just here to help change the world, help change, other people's mindset. Like we always said in our podcast, we're like, you guys never know. Somebody could be going through the most heaviest point in their life, and we might just change the first 10 people out of the 1,000 people that listen to the podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That means a lot because, maybe we are on this earth to change people's lives. Maybe that's our calling, to sit here and, we want to go out. We want to speak to people, not only just, on a regular podcast. We want to do video. We want to go out to the community. We want to outreach to everybody. We just want to, like I said before, and Gadiel will say the same thing. We want to reach everybody we can. We don't expect everybody to listen, but guess what? We'll grab your attention real fast, quick, in a hurry.
Yep. And, I'm going to challenge someone out there listening to this podcast. Do something for someone. Do something nice. Hold the door open. Say hello. Actually have a conversation and say, hey, how was your day? It was good. And that's the end of the conversation. Ask them how their family's doing. Do something nice for somebody.
How about even this? They say that, like, for example, a lot of people, they like to just judge people a lot. You know what I'm saying? We can't judge anybody. A lot of people don't, for example, they don't like to give, a helping hand to somebody. You never know what somebody's going through, because guess what? That same person that you just, you turn the other cheek on could be that very next person to save your life one day.
Exactly.
Or you might need that person one day. So how about we change our attitudes and our mindsets and get our visions corrected? You have to go get a visionary appointment for, like you might need, they might say, hey, your vision is blurry on this side. It's like glasses. What do we do? Contacts. What do we do? We need correction, right?
Exactly.
Like that. But yeah, so I think that's all we have for you guys right now. But hopefully you guys, receive this information and you take it how you want to, like we always say.
It's the vision, man. You got to believe it.
You have to. It starts with the vision, and you have to visualize everything. And then after that, like Gadio was saying, even if you have to write it down, you write it down. You remember these things. Like I was saying earlier, remember key points: vision board, writing it down, visualizing the foundation. Remember those key points, and you'll be all right.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for listening to the episode. Appreciate your support. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. True for Wisdom Podcast.